Hi, everybody. It's Mrs. Dreyer, and I am here to explain to you how to follow the guidelines for writing a critical lens paper. Okay, let's get started. Remember, an APA paper has four parts. You have your title page, your abstract, your body, and your references page. But we're going to focus on the body for this presentation. Okay. So you've picked your quotation about hope, and you're going to now look at the works that I assigned. You're going to look at the film and the story. And when you watch the film and read the story, you're going to keep your quotation in mind. And somehow you have to connect the works to the quotation. Okay? Once you have your idea, you get started. The first thing you do is you state the quotation. So I gave you some examples here. Ben Franklin quipped, "A penny saved is a penny earned." An anonymous person said, "Lollipops are tasty," and so forth. So in this guideline, I give you some sentence starters to help you out, okay? After you state the quotation, you have to interpret the quotation. So again, sentence starters. This quotation means. In other words, so one or two sentences to explain what the quotation means. Now we go down to our thesis. We actually have a two-sentence thesis in this case. And basically, the thesis is going to explain that the works that you've chosen, or that I assigned, prove the quotation true or not true. In this case, you're proving them true. So again, I've given you some sentence starters here. So you begin. Clearly, this quotation has proven true in author's name, title of book, genre, and director's name, film, and so forth. So you have to, when you fill in the blanks here, you have to make sure that you note not just the title, but also the author and the genre. Okay? Let me just fix this here. It's not a TV show, it is a film. Alrighty. Okay. Now, notice I have four choices here for you to choose from. It's very important that you do not write all four. You just pick one. This may sound silly that I'm saying this, but I always have students that will write this sentence, "Clearly, this quotation has proven true, blah, blah, blah." And then the next sentence starts out with, "The truth of this statement is shown by," no, just pick one. Okay? And then for the second part of your thesis, you briefly explain how the two works relate to the quotation. So I've given you a sentence starter. Essentially, the characters in both the story and the film. Let me fix this. Show blah, blah, blah. Now, these are sentence starter ideas. You can start your own way as well. Okay, now we finished our introductory paragraph. We're moving on to work one. So it doesn't matter which work you start with, but let's say you're going to start with the film. Okay, or the documentary rather. So your first paragraph, you want to write a topic sentence. Again, I've given you some sentence starters. If they work for you, you can use them. But you have to have a topic sentence. And then you briefly summarize what the story is about. Think back to the example that you worked on with the Anne Frank quotation, right? That was the pattern. There was a topic sentence, followed by the summary, followed by the connection to the quotation. So now we move on to the next body paragraph. In this one, you're going to explain in more detail how the characters relate to the quotation. Okay, you're proving the quotation true. And then you have a concluding sentence. And again, I've given you some sentence starters. Ultimately, the character is influenced by, in the end, the character tells victims to not fall victim to. I don't know what I wrote there, but I'll fix that later. Okay, once you finish the film, then you move on to the story. And you follow the same exact pattern. Same pattern. All right? We come to our conclusion. Your first sentence, you want to begin with a transitional term that tells the reader you're writing up your work. and then you briefly refer to the quotation and its relation to the two works. Okay. Again, here are some sentence starters. And then you sum up the main points of the two paragraphs. Very brief. Don't tell the story again. Just very brief sentence or two. And then you try to extend by giving your readers something to think about, some insight that they will remember. Okay. All right. Now, the beauty of this paper is that you can apply this to other papers you might be assigned in college. So, for example, let's say you have a history professor, and the history professor says, I want you to pick some battles from American history and write a paper about them. Okay. All right, now you're like, oh, okay. So let's say you decide that you're going to pick the Battle of Gettysburg from the Civil War, the Battle of Saratoga from the Colonial War, the Battle of Okinawa. Okay, that's World War II. And you find a quotation that kind of connects all three so that you can say these three battles support this quotation. You start your paper out with a really powerful quotation, and then you have the works to support it. Now, let's say your professor says you need a 10-page paper, and you've written, you pick these three battles, and you still have 2 pages to go. Well, what do? Find more battles that can prove the quotation true. Okay? You just add more examples. That's all. So this is something important that I really want you to take advantage of and take with you when you go to college, especially if you have writer's block. All right? And back up to the top, I must say, if you follow this guide step by step, this paper will write itself. And I mean that. But you have to follow it step by step. Okay, bye-bye.